Hi guys, I think that worked on my new song. I just had it up very loud, so sorry about that. So today we're going to work into the spine again. And it's really important that you listen to your spine. So there should be, we're going to move deeper into the gnarly bits of our spine, the things that we don't move much, like the torso. And so there should be a certain amount of sensations that feel like, oh, I haven't done this in a while, but there shouldn't be pain. And so pain and vulnerability is a different signal. And so we're cultivating and listening to the language of our body, and we're being really kind. And it's an adventure and a discovery rather than I have to get there today. It's more, what can I listen to in myself and learn about myself today? So come, great. Come lie on your back. Knees are bent. Oh, yes, I have my microphone on. Feet are flat on the floor. And so we're going to begin by flattening down into the floor. So flattening down and arching and flattening down and arching. So as you flatten down, as you arch, just feel that you're tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. Okay? So come to neutral and now tilt the pelvis left to right. So lift the right buttock, lift the left buttock, right buttock, left buttock. And are you arching your back or flattening your back as you do this? Can you tell? Question. Who knows? And now we're going to list the pelvis. So glide your pelvis from left to right. So it should feel like you're lengthening the sides of your waist. And this one for me always feels kind of crunchy. And there's these interesting little pops and clunks that happen in the pelvis and in the sacrum as I list my pelvis from left to right. So same things with the shoulders. So push both elbows down into the floor, push your head into the floor, and lift your chest and shoulders up. So my shoulders have lifted off the floor. And then drop your shoulders down, reach both arms up, and round your shoulders forward. You can lift your head if you wish off the floor, or just stay where you are with your head on the floor. Push your shoulders back, lift your chest, and then lift up and reach your fingers upwards. So push your elbows and shoulders back, pop your chest, and then reach your fingers up. So we're rounding and arching our shoulders. Now just reach one arm up and then the other. So we're doing the left, right tilting of the shoulders, the twisting of our shoulders, reaching, reaching, reaching. And then the last one, bend your elbows, have your elbows down beside your sides, and imagine you can bring your elbows down to your hips. So side to side. And again, are you arching or flattening your spine here? Can you tell the difference? So try to flatten or try and arch. Tendency for me is that I arch when I'm doing this. Great. Just rest for a moment there. Bring your arms wide out into a T, and then just drop your knees from side to side. And so as you glide one way, the other way, just listen. hearing your spine, hearing your belly. Nice. And then we're going to glide. So drop both knees down towards the right. And then glide your left foot so that your knee travels up towards your shoulder and then your foot comes to your foot. So we're only staying on the right. So glide your knee up and down. Your left foot can travel a little bit back from you and keeping your knee bent, but you're not coming back up to center. You're just gliding your left knee up and down in the glider. Nice. And then from here, just lift your knee up so it's coming up towards your right shoulder or left shoulder a little bit, and then open and close your knee over towards the right elbow and then across towards the left. So your right thigh is staying on the floor and we're now waving our knee up and down. And just lengthen into the moment at the end of the range and then squeeze into the knee as it drops. Just hear that. How do you wholesomely just expand the range very gently? Last one of these. Touch your toe to your knee and then touch your toe to your foot. Toe to your knee and then toe to your foot. Maybe you go further. Maybe toe up towards your right hand and then maybe as far back towards the left as you can. Toe towards your hand, but you're not straightening your leg. You're trying to move the knee and foot. One more time. Tap and tap. Nice. Come back up to center. Pause for a moment. I want to shift myself a little bit to come into alignment. So I push my head down, lift my shoulders, lift my bum. I feel straight again. Drop your knees down towards the left and then do gliders with your right knee up towards your shoulder. And just hear the side body. We're just warming into mobility and the sense of your breath. Where's your breath? Nice. Now draw your knee up towards kind of in front of your chest and wave your knee from side to side. So as you open out, keep your left thigh on the floor really steadily. It's the anchor. And squeeze your knee down. So you're right. Squeeze deeply to the left. Keep your right shoulder on the floor. So you're trying to, what's on the floor is anchored. And then your right thigh and knee is really just discovering the movement possibilities. Where's your breath? Can you bring your breath into this movement? Nice. Now, toe tapping. So turn your thigh a little bit. So the toe, your knee is over your foot. Tap your knee. Tap your foot. Tap your knee. Tap your foot and then maybe glide further. And the foot, the knee is not traveling down. My knee is staying up as I try and tap. And so the sense of my foot is under my knee. So it's a slightly different angle. It's kind of a interesting angle. One more time. Nice. Come back to center. Lift your hips. Lift your shoulders. And then just roll your pelvis like there's a circle behind you or a clock behind you, keeping your feet on the floor. And just roll. As you roll, where's your breath? How do you sink and deepen? And then roll in the other direction. Rolling, listening, feeling. Nice. So come all the way over into your cat pose. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And so just do your normal cat pose first. So rounding and arching. Rounding and arching. So what bit of you started? What bit of you ended the movement? Who knows? It's like we just moved as a big chunk and it was really wonderful, I'm sure. But we're going to try and segment the movement a little bit. So start by just moving your pelvis. So just round into a pelvic tilt and then arch. So just your pelvis, round and arch. Just your pelvis, round and arch. So starting with the pelvis, begin to move up along the spine, rounding, and then let your spine slowly travel up into a rounding, and starting from the pelvis, arch, and then let your pelvis descend. So starting the movement from the pelvis, how do you get snaky into your spine? Like, how do you even begin? Like, there's something in the middle of my back, and I don't even know what's happening there. It's like, I moved. I think I moved. Yes, I must have moved. But I don't have a conscious awareness of how I'm doing stuff there, but I know it's moving. It's the same thing with you. There may be places where you're going, can't really feel or control that area. So just become aware of those places. Nice. And then just come to neutral. And then just squeeze the right side and side bend to the left side. So you're just squeezing sideways. Squeeze, squeeze, and really deeply squeeze. So squeeze. You should feel the folds. Squeeze, and squeeze. Nice. So we're going to shake up our cat pose a little bit. So walk your knees so they're together, and then bring the right knee behind and to the floor outside your left knee. So my knees are crossed, and I'm going to bring my feet a little bit wider so they're out a bit. So I've crossed my thighs and my feet are out. Okay? And then walk your hands a little bit back, because you kind of step back with your child's pose a little bit, or your cat pose. And then starting from the pelvis, rounding. And then starting from the pelvis, arching. And when you're arched, bend your elbows just a little bit and bring your nose a little bit closer to the floor. Rounding from the pelvis. And then from the pelvis, arching. And when you're totally arched, bend your elbows, bring your nose a little bit closer to the floor. Nice. Do the other side. So bring both knees to normal. Step the left knee behind the right. And then from the pelvis, rounding. Arching. When you're fully arched, lower your nose down towards the floor. From the pelvis, rounding. And from the pelvis, arching. Bend your elbows. Lower down towards the floor. My chest is really seeking the floor. My nose is dropping down. Nice. Bring both knees back to normal. So the next one, you're going to bring both feet over towards the right. So I've kind of done a side bend into my pelvis. And then from the pelvis, rounding and arching. Try and bring your nose a little bit down. For me, I get stuck at a certain point where I'm like, no, I can't go any further. Rounding, starting from the pelvis. Arching. Lower your nose down. Nice. Other side. Both feet towards the right, or whichever way you haven't gone. Rounding. From the pelvis, arching. Nose comes down. Rounding from the pelvis. Arching from the pelvis. Nose comes down. Nice. And come back to center. So just sit your bum back. Make fists out of your hands. Roll deeply into your wrists. You can be upright if you want to, or back on your heels, and then roll in the other direction. Nice. Bring your hands forward. And then bring your right foot out to the side. So your foot is straight out to the side. Your toes are pointing in the same direction as your fingers. And then from your pelvis, rounding and arching. And lower your nose down towards the floor. You'll feel a deeper stretch through your leg as you lower down. Rounding and arching. Nice. Make a fist out of your right hand. Pull it back into lawnmower. And then reach your right hand underneath your left armpit and reach towards the left. Pull your right elbow back, lawnmower, and then gliding under and just pausing there. For me, my shoulder isn't all the way down because you're twisting quite deeply into the pelvis, into the spine here. And just feel that. Softening into it. Nice, come all the way back. Other side, pull the left elbow back and then dive with the left hand all the way down. You'll find that this one I'm like, woo, I can bring my shoulder down. It's different. Pull your elbow back and then bring your shoulder down and just pause there. Where's your breath? Can you push the left shoulder a little bit into the floor and push your right hand down so there's a sense of tone through the chest? Is your pelvis rounding or arching? And create some length into the spine. Where's your breath? Deepen your belly, deepen your chest. Really drop the breath down into the pelvis. Nice, come all the way back up. Other side. Left leg, straight out to the side. From the pelvis, rounding into a cat. Arching into your cat, and then lower your nose down in the direction of the floor. Rising up, rounding from your pelvis. Arching from your pelvis. And nose come down in the direction of the floor. Straighten your arms. Pull the left elbow back to begin with into a fist. Pull it back into lawnmower. And then dive your left hand under and reach towards the right. Pull your left elbow back. And then dive. And just see where you rest here. Shoulders, for me, floating off the floor. I'm feeling a lot of sensations, which are wellness through that left leg. Nice, come all the way back up. Last one. Pull the right elbow back and dive. Woohoo, this one's much easier. Pull your little right elbow back and dive. And again, push your shoulder into the floor to create some tone. Push your hand into the floor, lengthen your spine. And just feel like you're really extending down into that left leg. Nice, come all the way back up. Super cool. Let's get off our knees. Sit on your bum and stretch your legs out long. Super, just roll your shoulders. Big circles. And what moves, what doesn't. How does that feel? And then roll in the other direction. Rounding. Rounding. So bring your feet as wide as they go, out to the sides. Whatever that is for you. So that could be whatever. Just find your way of wide, so you don't feel like you're rounded backwards. So it can be quite much closer than mine, or it could be wider than mine. Just find your distance that you're still able to move your legs in. So I just feel like you can lift one bum, lift the other. You have a sense of mobility or ability here. Okay. So then bend your left knee and bring your foot in. And then bring your right hand behind you and reach forward with the left hand. So we're deeply meeting the left hip there. Also the inside of the right thigh, the deep of the buttock on the right. Come back. Stretch your left leg long. Bend your right knee. Left hand behind you. Reach your right hand forward. Nice. And just glide from one side to the other. Nice. So maybe you push into your hand and you begin to lift your bum so you can reach a bit further. And then change. So I'm going to give you a set of instructions, and if you know, oh no, I'm not going to do that, then just continue with this level, okay, right? So the next one is where we're going to lift and maybe come up into stand. So bring your right hand behind you. So bend your left knee. We're going to do it on the right side first. So bend your left knee. Bring your right leg long and out to the side. Bring your right hand to the floor. So lean back, lift your leg, your right leg, and then lean forward, lift your bum. So my whole right side, everything's off the floor except for my left foot and my right hand. So lift your leg, lean back, lean forward, lift your bum. So just feel that. Lift your leg, lift your bum, lift your leg, lift your bum. So great. So the next bit of this movement is where you lift your bum, bend your knee. So you're now floating. And then you have to do this fling thing. Fling your foot behind you. If you've got anything going on with your shoulders, be really careful with this one. And you come up to stand. And then bring your right hand in front of you. Fling your foot so it comes in under. Stretch your leg out. Drop your bum. Maybe disregard that completely. Continue to reach forward and backwards. Or do it again. Fling. Rise. Down. Fling. Drop. Other side. Right, left leg is long, right knee is bent. And then lift your left leg as you lean back. And lift your bum as you lean forward. So your whole body is starting to lift. Lift your leg. Lift your bum. Maybe this is the level that you want to stop at. Or begin to bend your knee in. And then fling. And come up. It's got such a satisfying fling to it, this one. Left hand to the floor. Fling forward. Lift your leg, lift your bum, fling. One more time, down, fling. Cool. So actually bring both feet together and just hold on to your shoulders and wrap yourself a little bit. And then just round forward. And then just move from side to side. So you're forward, and then come up into sitting upright and lean a little bit from side to side. And then forward, and maybe draw a circle with your chest. So you're leaning back, you're rocking forward, a bit like a spinning top or something like that. And then go in the other direction. Hearing your spine. Nice. Look at your arms, do the other cross, and do the same thing. Spin like a top. And then in the other direction. Nice. So come to rest into your child's pose. Or lie on your back if you wish. Just come to rest down. So we did some inquiries there. We checked out what we did in different movements and how different movements were easier one way or harder another way, or we shook up our cat pose. And just let all that settle. And breathing, settling, deepening. Really feeling the movement inside you, the momentum. I just put it out there, that sense of that hope molecule, that sense of when we move, something changes. We are transformed by the movement. And it's not anything intellectual, it's physiological, which then underpins everything else, which is just so wonderful. Great. So stay there, or you can slowly begin to emerge. It's very cool. There's more and more of you all the time. It's very, very super. And if you want to, you can share this with your friends. People ask me sometimes, is it okay to share? And I'm like, oh, yeah. So do share it with your friends. So lovely. Wow, so wonderful. That was really, I really needed that in both different directions. And I will see you all tomorrow for another wonderful installation or session or whatever it is we do here. So be well, and I'll see you all tomorrow.